Donald Trump has a new plan to stop Russia's expansionist foreign policy. It is a geopolitical puzzle involving major players: the United States, China, the European Union, Russia, and even Ukraine. The American president wants the European Union to prove that it intends seriously to pursue peace. There will be an attempt to impose sanctions or put more aggressive pressure on Russia. But for the sanctions to make sense, there must be a willingness on the part of the West to impose real, serious costs on Russia in a coordinated manner. This raises several tasks, especially for left-wing establishment politicians in Western Europe. But, as politically right, the US administration has also approached Slovakia and Hungary. The aim is to immediately stop buying Russian raw materials, impose severe and effective sanctions on the Russian Federation, and impose tariffs of between 50 and 100% on trade with China, which supports the Kremlin consistently, but behind the scenes.
We're going to see, but we've hit them very hard in so many other ways. I don't know if you know. Do you know what they're paying right now? What are they paying right now? You know what China's paying right now in tariffs?
But to stop the Russian war machine, the wills of Berlin, Paris and Brussels are needed, not just in words, but also in deeds. It is a good proposal, if questionably realistic, but the mere imposition of tariffs by the United States on China, a country that buys a lot of oil from the Russian Federation, could be ineffective. Hence the idea for coordinated action by the United States plus the European Union, plus some other friendly countries like Japan and Australia. Such pressure would make sense, and I think that is what President Trump is aiming for. The problem is that left-wing establishment politicians did not understand where their close contacts with the Kremlin would lead them. They did not learn from their relations with Russia. And what is more, they would, given the opportunity, gladly return to them at the expense of building security based on an alliance with the United States. Polish President Karol Nawrocki, along with Donald Trump, understand these threats perfectly well. Both presidents are well aware that any cooperation with countries supporting the Kremlin, any postponement of sanctions against Moscow, and any purchase of Russian raw materials only fuels Putin's war machine, as the Polish president pointed out in an interview with the German daily Bild.
Wir bekommen null vom russischen Gas.
We have zero Russian gas in Poland, and we are very proud of that. I believe that all countries that want peace and freedom should stop subsidizing the Russian Federation. We should not make the mistake that Europe made with Nord Stream 2, because unfortunately it ended in war. What's more, in the face of the Russian-Belarusian military maneuvers, entitled Zapad, Poland closed all its borders with Belarus, including railway crossings. This means a blockade of the so-called New Silk Road. Beijing transports its goods to Western Europe by rail, through Belarus and the border with Poland. This is an alternative to expensive air cargo or lengthy sea transport. The fact that China has been trying to make Belarus a gateway for its expansion into the European Union shows how important it is for China to restore Belarusian-Polish rail connections, and this pressure is evident. The Chinese foreign minister visited Poland and met both the head of Polish diplomacy, Radosław Sikorski, and President Karol Nawrocki. The conversation concerned not just bilateral issues including Polish-Chinese economic relations, but also the international situation. The situation surrounding the Russian drone provocation we witnessed on the 10th of September, as well as the security situation in Central Europe in the context of Belarus and Russia's aggressive policy towards Ukraine. On Friday, Donald Trump will speak by phone with Chinese leader Xi Jinping to put further pressure on Beijing and Moscow.
Getting to this framework was made possible by President Trump and the high regard that President Trump has for Party Chair Xi. So when the leaders have mutual respect, then the delegations have mutual respect.
Donald Trump's goal is to stop Russian imperialism and Chinese expansion. Europe has a great opportunity to join this international game for influence and money, but above all, for security.